So the data says that in November 2022, India export has crossed $5 billion marks. Okay. Now this is a statement which was made by Prime Minister Modi. So I have written this statement so that you can use it in your answers. See, I always give you the lines that you can use in the conclusion or introduction of your answers to make them more effective. So please take a note of these lines, which are important when it is coming specifically from the governing people of your country. So you please write these. This will help you in enhancing the quality of your answers. So keep a note of it. Write in a diary or something like that where you are writing your topics. There you can write conclusions के अंदर we can add these lines. Okay, so he said soon the whole world will be using made in India phones. Okay, so this reflects the ambition of India. Okay, now the reason that we have seen an uptick in the export, the government has says, is because of the production link incentive scheme. Here they promote export by reducing duties and fees on it so that the export can be encouraged. So this is the reason that they have cited for the increase in number of smartphone exports. However, the okay, if first let's discuss India's target. So under National Policy on Electronics 2019, okay, this was the ambitious target which was kept that India will be exporting 600 million mobile phones worth $1110 billion by 2025. Now 2025 means next year. The target is $110 billion and the present mark is $5 billion. Also, it is an increase from the what we had earlier, but it is far to be reached from the target that we had kept. Okay, so that is why this how so the question that you can get is basically on the aspect how you can reach this particular target, what are the steps that can be taken, and there you can use the data that we'll be discussing today. Okay, so let's see the issue. So as we have seen, the smartphone export is below $10 billion as of now. And the thing is, while India is producing smartphones, India is producing smartphones, but the thing is, it is not into export as such, and the domestic consumption is taking over the export. Okay, so majority of the smartphones which are produced are consumed in India only. So the second thing is, because we are a demographically rich country, so the thing is you need to improve further production so that you have production surplus, and using that surplus you cater to the export demands. Okay, now here as we'll be discussing China and Vietnam, that India is losing out to China and Vietnam. This is again as per the government due to high tariff on import of mobiles. Okay, this was actually by Reuters report. Okay, so the thing is, the what has India done when you are saying that you have high tariff or import of mobiles? See, the thing is, Indian government has reduced import duty on mobile part such as lenses, batteries, back covers from 15% to 10%. Now, this is the step which has been taken to further promote the manufacturing line in India so that you can import the part, you can assemble it, developing the assembly chain here, and then you can export it. So finally gaining from the final product. Okay, however, India has imposed a 20% tax on the charger and circuit boards. So this is again an issue. So you this is the area where you can reduce the taxes and then you can avail the benefit of the exports. Okay, now let's see Vietnam. See, China is the dominant player when it comes to smartphones export in the world because of the prices of they are able to produce cheaper goods. That is why, because of the government aided schemes and programs in China. The second thing is cheaper labor availability and raw material availability, and then they use some tariff and non-tariff measures where they promote their own export and discourage the exports and imports from the other countries into China. So, and they have a well developed manufacturing line as well. So that is why China is the dominant player. But we have seen in the recent past that somehow the countries are not happy with the China monopolistic trade markets and their habits, as we have discussed. So they somehow government alter the duties in order to promote their exports. Okay, so which is considered as a sort of a malpractice. That is why there were certain countries who were wanted to move out of the China's dependency, and this is where the Vietnam has capitalized. Now if and now Vietnam is even ahead of South Korea when it comes to the increase when it comes to the smartphone exports. Okay, and it has now become the second biggest smartphone exporter after China. So we'll be discussing China and Vietnam, looking China and Vietnam. So if you see India Vietnam comparison, if we see before 2010, India and Vietnam had less than 1% export share. So basically, India and Vietnam were at same pedestal when we talk before 2010. However, by 2022, now the Vietnam share has reached to 12%, while India is on seventh rank in terms of export with 2.5%. And ये कहाँ चला गया? From 1% it has gone to second position at 12% export. So what has Vietnam done? See, now we'll be seeing in which market that they have tapped, and India has not been able to tap those markets. So if you see Hong Kong, in the Hong Kong, in it has seen marginal improvement, very less improvements, and to 1%. Okay, why the world's second biggest importer, where India's share is insignificant. So Hong Kong is the world's second biggest importer. यहाँ पे इंडिया का एक्सपोर्ट शेयर बहुत कम है, वियतनाम का भी 1% है. So the majority is coming from China. So what we can do, this is our potential market. If we want to tap the markets, then Hong Kong is a potential market where we can sell our products. We can reach out with our exports. Okay. Now Japan is the world fourth biggest importer. Okay. Now here 6% imports are coming from Vietnam, and India's share is 2%. So again, Japan is also a place where they have been able to tap 6% of the market. But India, despite being a very close friend of Japan, we have still been able to not carve out the policies where we can increase our exports to the country. And this is again a potential market for India. Okay, now if we see another market that Vietnam has tapped is US, which is the biggest importer of mobiles. So the biggest importer is US, second is Hong Kong, then at fourth number you have Japan. So now tell me which is the third highest importer of smartphones. Answer this question tomorrow. We'll see. Okay. So the fast pace in 2000 between 2018 and 22, Vietnam's share in US market has doubled from 9 to 18%. So now the 18% of smartphones which are imported in US are coming from Vietnam. So it has been able to tap the one of the top four, three of the top four markets. Okay, so and this is where we can come in. We can also tap in and cash in these markets, because still a huge chunk is coming from other countries, specifically when we talk about Japan and Hong Kong. So we can tap those, and because Japan is also a friendly nation, so that this is a place where we can reach to. Now, if you see China, China exports about 50% of the world's smartphone and has a huge share. Okay. Now, if you see Hong Kong, UAE, Czech Republic, US, and South Korea are the other player in the export market. Okay, so China का maximum share है for the reasons that we discussed earlier. Second is by Vietnam. So the largest exporter is China, second is Vietnam, and third is South Korea. And if you see the importer, the largest importer is US, second is Hong Kong, third you will tell me, and fourth is Japan. Okay. नाउ इंडिया, अगर हम इंडिया का शेयर देखें, इंडिया ने कहाँ पे इंक्रीज करी है अपनी मार्केट्स, वेयर हैज इंडिया, इंडिया ने भी तो बढ़ाया है ना, तो इंडिया की कौन कौन सी मार्केट में बढ़ा है? यूएई एंड जर्मनी आर द वर्ल्ड थर्ड एंड फिफ्थ बिगेस्ट स्मार्टफोन्स importers. So now we have the answer. UAE is the third biggest, Germany is the fifth. So the top five importer countries of smartphones are Hong Kong, second US, first, second is Hong Kong, third is UAE, fourth is Japan, fifth is Germany. And this can be asked in your prelims, so you be aware with it. Okay. अब यहाँ पे वियतनाम का शेयर डिक्रीज हो रहा है एंड इंडिया का इंक्रीज हो रहा है. दीज आर द केसेस, दीज आर द टू कंट्रीज जहाँ पे वियतनाम का डिक्रीज हो रहा है और इंडिया का इंक्रीज हो रहा है. सो लेट्स सी अबाउट द शेयर. इंडिया का जो शेयर है इम्पोर्ट्स के अंदर वो 5% था 2018 में, जो 2022 में 13% हो गया. ओके. एंड वियतनाम का डिक्लाइन हुआ 31% से 13%. Similarly, we need to cash in the other markets as well. Now, in Germany, Vietnam share declined from about 20% to 10%, almost 50% रह गया in 2022, while India का increase हुआ 5%, जो कि पहले था ही नहीं, 0 से 5% पे increase हुआ. तो India has gained 5% of the market share and they have reduced it to the 50%. Okay. So अगर हम state wise बात करें तो तमिलनाडु is the leader production exporter of smartphones इंडिया के अंदर, which is exporting about 38% of India's mobile. And if you talk about Uttar Pradesh and Kolar in Karnataka are the other leading districts in the smartphone export. So this was about the India smartphone export. So you be aware of the leading exporters, leading importers, and the trend also, and the reason behind increase in exports, and which are the market where India can cash in. So you must be aware with respect to prelims and mains. In both of them can be asked, and specifically your National Electronic Policy, which has a vision of catering to a market of $110 billion export market by 2025, and where we stand today, we are at $5 billion. Okay, so this is something that you must remember.